Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Ramani Online Mathematics, and today we want to look at a simple and interesting topic called a simultaneous equations. What is a simultaneous equation? When we say a simultaneous equation, we are simply trying to say that solving two or more equations at the same time. Solving two or more equations at the same time. Is that okay? Now, for you to be able to solve two or more equations at the same time, we have numerous ways of solving it, but we are going to limit ourselves to three general ways of solving it. We are going to look at the elimination method, substitution method, and graphical method. Is that okay? Now, if you are solving it and we have two equations, meaning that you'll be having two unknown variables. If you have three equations, means that you have what? Three unknown variables. If you have four unknown, and so on. Is that okay? Now, let's look at an example. But before we look at an example, you want to start with the elimination method first, okay? Let's start with the elimination method. And when you say elimination method, once you hear you are trying to eliminate something, that means you want to take off that something. Is that okay? Or you want to remove that thing from there. So using elimination method simply means if you are dealing with two variables, then you are trying to take off one of the unknown variable. When I say unknown variable, it can be any variable at all. Is that okay? The variable that we are looking for. So you have to try to take off one of what? The unknown variable, leaving the other one so that you can solve for the other one. That's how the elimination method works. Now let's look at this example. Find the values of x and y in the pairs of equation 3x plus 2y equals 16 and 5x plus 2y equals 20. Now, for you to be able to do this, you want to use the elimination method to do this question. And for you to be able to do such question, the question here is, how do we eliminate? In mathematics, when it comes to algebraic expression, we can only subtract or add when they are what? Like terms. Is that okay? So for me to be able to eliminate, then I have to make sure that one of them is what? Like term. Is that okay? Now let's look at it. Let's name. So this is my solution. Let's write this one 3x plus 2y equals 20. And let's name this one equation 1. Then 5x plus 2y equals, okay, this is equals 16. And here will be what? 20. Let's name this one equation number 2. Is that okay? Now let me clean this side. Now if you look at this one, this is equation 1, equation 2. They are just two equations. Therefore, the unknown variable here will be 2, which is x and what? And y. So that's our unknown what? Variable. Is that okay? Very good. Now, the rule here is that you want to use the elimination method. And for you to be able to use the elimination method, you have to be able to what? Make sure that one of the variable is what? The same, or they have the same coefficient. So if you look at this and that, this is 3x, this is 5x. This is 2y, this is 2y. You can see that the y have the same what? Coefficient. Therefore, we can eliminate the y. How do we eliminate? This is plus, this is plus. So if I want this one to go to 0 or to take it off, I simply subtract. That one depends on you, whether you subtract equation 1 from equation 2 or equation 2 from equation 1. So I want to subtract equation 1 from equation 2. So this is equation 2 minus equation 1. Meaning that I'm going to subtract 1 from what? 2. Okay, so now 3x plus 2y. Okay, let's write this way. Let me bring me equation 2 first. 5x plus 2y equals 20. They have 3x equals 16. So this is our equation 2, equation 1. So we are subtracting. Please, you could see that the negative sign here will affect all the equation 1 because that's what we are subtracting from equation 2. Why are we subtracting? We want to make the y goes to 0. So from here, 5x minus 3x, I have 2x. 2y minus 2y. The answer is what? 0. So plus 0 equals to 20 minus 16. We all know it is 4. Is that okay? This is very simple to do, right? Good. Now from here, I have my 2x is equals to 4. What do we do next? Divide both sides by what? 2. So if I divide here by 2, here by 2, my x is equals to what? 2. I have the value of what? X. How do I get the value of what? Y. You just visit any of the equation, whether equation 1 or equation 2, and substitute the value of x into that equation. So if I pick equation 1, so from equation 1, which is 3x plus 2y equals 16. If I put 2 here, that is going to give us 3 times 2 plus 2y equals to 16. 3 times 2 we all know is 6. So I have 6 plus 2y equals 16. Now I can group like terms here. So that is going to give us 2y equals 16 minus 6. Is that okay? 16 minus 6 we know to be what? 10. Dividing both sides by 2, we have our y equals what? 5. Is that okay? Meaning that our pair is equals to our x we had 2, our y is 5. So now this is example number 2 of the elimination method, okay? So now I've already explained to you that for you to be able to use the elimination method, then the equation, one of the variable, the unknown variable, have to be the same. So now let's look at this example. We have 4a plus 4b equals 36. And we also have 2a minus 2b equals 22. So I've named it equation 1 and equation 2. And the question here is to find a and what? B. Is that okay? For me to solve this, it is simultaneous equation because they are what? 2 equations and we are trying to solve it at the same time with 2 unknown variables, which is a and what? B. So if you look at this one, unlike the first one, you realize that the first one that we solved, a and b, or sorry, x and y, we're having the y to be the same, having the same coefficients. But if you look at this one, this is 4b, this is 2b, they are not the same. This is 4a, this is 6a, they are not the same. So algebraically, we cannot what? Add or subtract in this case. But we can decide to make one of them be the same. So I want to make b be the same. But if you look at this side, here is 4b, here is 2b. So I want to make the 2b also be what? 4b. So what do? I simply multiply through by what? A factor. Which factor is that? 2. Because if I multiply 2 by 2, I'll get 4, which will look the same as this. So I will simply say that multiply equation 2 by 2. So that will be 2 times this one. That will give us 12a minus 2 times this will be 4b equals 44. Now let's name this one equation number 3. If I multiply through, how to affect all of them, those that are in equation 2, not the first one or the one I want to eliminate. Is that okay? How to affect everything. So now, we can now see that equation 3 and equation 1 have something in common. That is the b. The equation 1 we have 4b. The equation 2 we have 4b. Now if you look at this, this is negative 4b, this is positive 4b. The first one was positive 2y, but here they are in opposite sign. So we can add them, because when I add equation 1 and equation 2, you realize that the 4b and that of negative 4b will cancel. That will give us 0. So I can say that I'm adding equation 1 to equation what? 3. So now I want to add equation 1 to equation 3. So if I do that, what do I have? This is my equation 1, and this is my equation 3. This is 4a, this is 12a. If I add these two, what am I getting? I'm getting 16a. This is 4b, this is negative 4b. If I add these two, I'll get 0. So I will not even write. This is 36, this is 44. If I add these two, what am I going to get? 4 plus 6 is 10, so 0, remainder 1. 3 plus 4 is what? 7. Plus the remainder 1, that is 8, so 80 is here. Is that okay? Good. So I have this number is there. 16a equals to 80. Is that okay? So we'll have to divide both sides by 16. So if I divide here by 16, here by 16, what do I have? I have a equals, now I have 80 divided by 16. And 80 divided by 16 will give me 5. Is that okay? So simply we have our A. How do we get our B? Just like I said, we can visit either equation 1 or equation 2, even equation 3 to get our B. So I want to go to the equation 2, where we have 6a minus 2b equals 22. But our a is 5, so I can have 6 multiplied by 5 minus 2b equals 22. 6 times 5 we all know is 30. So I have 30 minus 2b equals 22. Is that okay? I can group like terms. So minus 2b equals to 22 minus 30. So minus 2b equals 22 minus 30 will give us minus 8. Now we simply divide through by what? Negative 2 to make b the subject. So if I divide here by negative 2, here by negative 2, this negative will go with this. So my b will be this, and that will give us positive 4, because the negative will cancel the negative. Meaning that my a, b equals, what did I get for my a, which is 5? And what did I get for my b, which is what? 4. This is very simple to solve again. Now let's look at our example number 3.